Hey everybody, coming at you from my gear room. And I'm coming to you from my gear room because I don't have a video planned. I just got off of my 3-week long night shift stint for our annual shutdown. And so I'm going to be transitioning back to a normal day shift, 8 hours. And so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video because I got some thoughts and some rambling I want to do, and not everybody likes the rambling, so I'll save that to the end of the video. But in the meantime, while I was gone, all I did is eat, sleep, and work. My brother got my mail, and it really piled up. A lot of it did. So I'm just going to go through a lot of the stuff that I got and talk about some of it, talk about how I'm going to use it in future videos and things like that. So, alright, let's get into it. First off, you'll have to excuse the way I pronounce everything in this video because there's some stuff in here I can't pronounce because I am Southern. There is a YouTube channel called Macca Knives, M-A-C-C-A, Macca Knives. And I may be pronouncing that right, I'm not sure, but he lives in the United Kingdom. And he made me a knife a while back. Well, recently he made a one-of-a-kind handmade machete. And I've never seen anything like this. I've never seen a design like this. This is just, I'm very excited about being able to use this in a future video. I'm going to use it a lot more in a future video. But it's a mystery steel, but I have chopped with it a little bit outside. And it holds an edge great. It's got a very sharp edge. It's got G10 inserts. This wood is called Wenge wood, W-E-N-G-E. I probably ain't pronouncing that right either. It's got these large radiuses in it. And he said that he purposefully left the handle oversized so that I could sand it to fit. And so I'm probably going to radius some in here and then reseal it. But this thing is cool because you can grab up right here and carve with this area, or you can just outright hold it here, or you can choke way back for more chopping power. The pins in it, most of the time people just put brass, just pieces of brass in here and call it a brass pin. But he's got like a decorative, I'll hold it up as close as I can. Those are mosaic pins. And what a mosaic pin is it where you put in a piece of brass tubing and then you put a bunch of little smaller pieces inside it. Very decorative. But I'm very interested in how this thing's going to work because I've never seen one this shape before. And curved parts, the more something is curved for your whittling, the more it'll curl up the feathers from making feather sticks. So I'm interested in carving here. And then it's got this area right here you can use for slicing, and then this big belly here for chopping. So, and he made this for me for free and said keep it. He said show it, keep it, talk about it, and just tell people about my channel because and just all he wants to do is make videos and make knives and you know, y'all go check him out. Y'all go sub him, watch his videos as a thank you for me. So that's all he asked, not much, but anyway, I'm going to use this in future videos. So, alright, moving on to the next. There's a guy that's on, I know him from Instagram, but he's also on YouTube, of course, and he is, what was I going to say? Alpha Omega Survival Supply. And he told me, he said, I think he kind of does it on the side, but he told me one day, he said, he sent me a message and he said, hey, I want to send you something. I think you'll find interest in it. Because he saw how in a video I was carrying a Silky saw and I put my socks over it. Because when you put your socks over it, it'll keep this sharp edge right here from cutting into anything. Well, he actually has made some Kydex stuff. Isn't that cool? For a Silky saw. You just pop it in here just like that. It holds tight. And you can either throw it into your pack like that to protect your pack from this sharp edge because the other end's kind of rounded, or it's got straps on here, Kydex straps right here. You can either strap it to your belt or you can strap it to your pack like Molly wise. Isn't that cool? But that thing, it just pops right in there just like that. But anyway, that's a Alpha Omega Survival Supply. Does these Kydex things, and that one is multicam. He sent me that one, and then he sent a huge one. This I can't remember how I think it's Cryptech. I think Cryptech camo. But this thing, it's got all the I guess you call them rivets here, and then he's got some paracord woven on the end of it, and that is for the Silky big boy right there. Isn't that cool? And see, that way you can either dangle it off your pack, or you can carry it off of the back of your straps or whatever, or just throw it in your pack to protect it. But I think that's absolutely the coolest thing I've ever seen. Isn't that neat? And I don't know if he just makes these on the side or if it's a business or what. I'm not real sure, but he's on YouTube or Instagram. He's probably on Facebook. So that's another cool thing right there that I'm really excited to getting used to using. And it just pops right in, just like that. Holds them. Isn't that cool? The next thing was sent to me by my friends Shannon and Dee. And I've been doing this a long time, a lot of years, but there's so many innovations in the outdoors world, camping and hiking and bushcrafting, that you can't a person can't possibly know what all is out there. And so they have found something that they thought was cool, and I had never heard of it, and they sent it to me. They ordered it off Amazon and sent it to me. And what it is it's made by a company called Gcs Tactical. And what it is it's a thing that you add to your backpack straps that has a pouch and a zipper pouch. It's got a pouch with a what do you call it, Fastex buckle, where you can put things in it. That is so cool. So let's get a little bit of a closer look at this. I'm going to change this here for the camera angle for just a minute. Trying to understand a little bit more about these things and all the different ways you can use them. They're meant to attach to your straps of your backpack, but what I'm thinking about is that you could also stretch one across your chest with you if you were going to carry your machete, what they call Witcher style or sling style. Or you could also attach this thing the way it's got these little clips on it right here. You could attach them to a belt and make that like a belt pouch for, I guess you call it scout carry. But I had the idea that I was going to put them on this pack. This is a VOD pack. I never even noticed that underneath it right there, whatever that is. But anyway, I was going to attach these on, and I don't know if I'm going to use, it's got loops on each end, and it's got these things. I don't know if I was going to attach this part like this, but I may do it that way. And because on the back, it's also got these snaps on the back with webbing in here like this. So I didn't know this existed. I think they're cool. There's the name on there, Gcs, and the pouch is pretty big. You could put a multi-tool in there. Look at that. It's even got elastic on the inside. I just now noticed that. It's got elastic for holding things on the inside. So that's pretty cool right there. And this is also something that, you know, if you wanted to, that's a pretty big pouch right there. You could put your compass in it. Just set it right over in it. But I was thinking that this was something, this is also something that you could strap to your belt too and have a mini survival kit, so that if you got separated from your backpack, you would have a little mini survival kit still on your body. So I'm going to attach these later on. There's two of them. I think those are awesome. That's a very innovative idea. That, and along with the reason I was going to put it on this pouch, is because in the kidney belt, it's got a little zipper pouch. I don't know, my zipper's stuck. Maybe this one's not. They're both stuck. Great. I'm going to have to work on them. Good thing I made this video. But this got a zipper pouch on the kidney belt of this VOD. This next thing that was sent to me, I have no idea who sent it to me. No idea. But they had this sent to me from the Amazon Fulfillment Center in I think Lexington, Kentucky. But this is a Gcs Custom Knife. And so let's take a closer look at this. And I don't know who sent it to me. there's not that many people that have my shipping address. The people that do, I know, and I'm usually aware of what they're sending me. So, you know, if you sent this to me and you're watching this video, claim credit in the comments section. So let's take a look here at this thing. Let's open this up and look. Well, I've already got it out of the packaging. But what this is this is a very cool leather sheath here that's got these straps over here so that you can mount it as scout carry on your belt, which is neat. It's got a place for a ferro rod. It's got a little pouch here with a sharpening stone in it that you carry with you. Then when you pull the knife out, the knife is like tracker style. It's D2. It's got a very good fit and finish on it. I think these are micarta handles, but I do know this is D2. It's got these things on the back right here. They're pretty sharp. I guess you could, I don't know, rip through sheet metal with it if you wanted to, or break wire fencing, or maybe even cut with it. And then it's got these weird things on the spine of it. I don't know if they're decorative or if they mean something, but I'll find out sometime. It's got a massive curve to it. It's got this dip in it. It's got some kind of a little place right there, and I'm not sure what that's for. And then of course the finger choil. So anyway, that's pretty neat. That's a very cool knife. The sheath is pretty cool. I like it. So if you sent it to me, lay claim to it. Because I don't know who sent it. I have no idea. Alright, now on to other things. To the rest of the Chris stuff. From Godan Media. He makes videos. He's a some of it's bushcrafty, fire making, knives stuff, but a lot of it is he's a cross the road, cross country truck driver, and he's also a musician. So he'll put the camera on the dash of his truck and drive cross country and film it all, and then he'll speed it up time lapse through day and night, and then add music to it. And it's music he created. So it's Godan Media. He sent me this hat. And, well, actually, it was labeled to me and Nick, and as soon as Nick saw it, he said, you can wear it in the video, but then I'm going to lay claim to it. So, anyway, it's a pretty cool Space Force. Oh, and one other thing while I'm thinking about it, I sat this here on the table so that I could think about it. Somebody had asked me one time, they said about long-term storage of knives. There's about 1 million different ways of doing it, but for long-term storage, look this up. Renaissance Microcrystalline Wax and Cleaner. I think it said cleaner. Yeah, wax, cleaner, and polish. Look this stuff up. This is what you want to put on. Museums use this, and I think this is made in England. Yeah, made in England. Yeah, it says it on it. Made in England. Look it up online. This stuff here, you can put it on the metal blade. You can put it on the wooden handle, micarta handle, bone handle. You can put it on the leather sheath. You can put it on everything. I can't explain what it does and how it protects, but it's called a microcrystalline. And it comes in like, there's like pads in there that you pull out. And you rub everything down with it. So, but anyway, that's the best stuff for long-term storage right there. So, now let's move on along to some other stuff here. Now, I know all of you have heard the stories of the old beer commercials with the most interesting man alive. And you've seen the movie Indiana Jones. Well, I have a friend named Chris in California, and throughout my years of emailing him and corresponding with him, he's probably combined the most interesting man alive along with being Indiana Jones. He's just... This guy needs to write a book. He's just an incredible person. He's seen a lot. He's done a lot. He knows a lot of people, and he sent me a lot of stuff. And so I'm going to go over some of the things he recently sent me. And before I do that, I just want to say, let's take a peek at this here. Okay, this is a normal ferro rod that most of you are used to. All right, and this is the junky striker that most of you are used to. All right, now when you use things like this, they'll get by in a pinch. And some people, when they start out with these, they grow to hate a ferro rod. There's much better ferro rods out there. So there's a guy, and I can't remember if he's from Alabama and his business is in Georgia, or if his business in Georgia and he's from Alabama. I can't remember. But it's called Fat Wood Fire Steels. And what he does is he makes these things and sells them. And they come on a lanyard, and they come with a very good striker, much better than what you normally get. And he seeks out fat wood or pine knots and polishes them up and puts ferro rods in them. That way they're decorative, they're bushcrafty, they're very artistic, and if you get into a pinch, you can carve these things down and use them. But he also puts a piece of fat wood on here, right? Okay, this is a ferro rod, okay, just like the others, fat wood fire steels. There's a guy in California, Nathan4071, he sells on eBay. These are his ferro rods. They're huge ferro rods. They're kind of soft. They throw the biggest sparks off I've ever seen in my life. He sells round ferro rods. He sells square ferro rods. He sells octagon, hexagon, I think. See, I've been sleep deprived. And then sometimes he'll make handles for you, but most of the time he sells blanks. And then sometimes he'll make strikers. So these are good. These are very soft. Okay, these are great, very bushcrafty. I didn't know, but my friend Chris, California Chris, he sent me, this is a 5-coal survival supply. Yeah, 5-coal survival supply. Now, he bought these. There's a guy named Andy on Bushcraft USA. It's a forum that I'm a member of. And Andy, I think, runs this 5-coal survival supply. And this is an original all metal ferro rod blank. And it says material specification all metal. Now, I've never heard of this. I've been on Bushcraft USA a long time ago, and I know Andy. I know who he is. I know who the business is, but I've never heard this before. But let's read this right here. It says details: highly pyrophoric ferro flint makes fire starting easy. For best results, strike with carbon steel. Now, this is made in Austria. Okay, now I think he bought like a 4-pack or a 6-pack, and he sent me 2 of them. It's a coated fire steel, and then he also sent me some high-speed steel blanks. Well, this one I haven't done anything with, and like I said, I've always heard of ferro rods and mish metal. I've never heard of all metal. So this is supposed to be much harder. So what I did is I made a Delrin handle. Okay, I made a Delrin handle for that, and then I made a Delrin handle for a striker. And I have sharpened the end of it because with this thing, I feel like not only is this a striker, but you could use this as a chisel if you had to. Use it for, or turning holes into square holes, or for cleaning up your notches. But this stuff right here to me is really nice. I love using them day to day. They're very bushcrafty. The handles are beautiful. You know, everything about this type of wood, and I done forgot the name of it now. I can't believe it. My mind is not going. But these are very bushcrafty and very nice. Top of the line, beautiful stuff. But for a survival type deal, I got to thinking to myself, if you made these out of some type of flammable material, if you had to do a survival fire with this, I feel like if things got bad, when you make a fire, they'll put off smoke, and early in the morning there'll be mist, and it's always white. But if you could make your handles out of something that if you really got into a bad situation, once you got a fire going, you could throw the handle in and it could put off black smoke like you wouldn't believe. Now, I don't want to burn these handles up, but I have burnt Delrin before, and it puts off the blackest smoke you've ever seen. So I've even thought about, maybe in the future, I may even think about seeing what a chunk of tire rubber does for a ferro rod handle. But that's just, you know, something to think about. Oh, real quick, while I'm on my ferro rods and stuff, this is from Mad Dog Survival. He sent it to me, and I never thought about this before. But a lot of people are using the high-speed tool bits for their strikers. Well, he actually put solid ceramic into a file handle and made it to where you can wear it as a neck lanyard. And this thing right here, as long as you don't drop it or chip it or break it, that thing will stay sharp forever. But it's like a ceramic. I don't know if that's a ceramic tool bit or what, but it's solid ceramic, and that thing right there is, That thing's phenomenal. That's mind-blowing how long it keeps an edge. But that's Mad Dog Survival on YouTube. A couple of more things here. I'm going to clean out a spot here. My friend in California, Chris. Let's call him California Chris. Of course, I call him by his nickname. I call him Cav, K-A-V. But anyway, he sent me this, and a lot of you may have heard of Ragweed Forge. But there was a guy that used to operate it running a blacksmith named, and I think he might have been a medieval Viking type reenactor, you know, kind of keeping the history alive. Now I think he went by the name Ragnar, and he passed away recently. But somebody is still running his business, which is great, keeping the tradition alive. And they carry a bunch of Scandinavian type knives and knife making supplies and flint and steel and stuff like that. Anyway, in the old days, the Vikings used to wear a whetstone as a pendant around their neck so they could keep their knives sharp. At least that's what they say. I don't know much about Viking culture, but this is jasper. And this was made in the tradition of some of the ones that they had found over in the Scandinavian countries. This was made in Sweden. And this is jasper. And what jasper is, they cut it from jasper. And jasper acts like, kind of like a hard Arkansas stone. So this is not really meant for sharpening, basic sharpening. It's meant for keeping a fine edge honed. And so he sent that to me, and that is very cool. That thing right there, you wear it around your neck, and you know, as you use your knife, you'll get a good edge on it, keep an edge on it. So thank you for that. That's cool. And Chris is somebody that lived close to him makes beeswax candles. Ah, it smells so good. Candles are a great survival type tool because if you have a match or a lighter, you light it and you don't want to sit there and burn up all your matches while you're trying to dry your tinder. So you can light a candle and it'll hold your flame while you're drying your tinder over it or trying to get everything else going. So that's a good survival tool. It's also a good mental booster because they're saying that in the air there's positive ions and negative ions and they affect you in a different way. And they say that burning candle wax, especially if you like burn it into a little area where it'll stay in the atmosphere, I think it was negative ions that they said are good, and this beeswax puts it off. So, you know, he sent me with a guy I think he only makes them once a year, I think. So he sent me some of those, which that is so cool right there. Something else he sent me that just about gave me a heart attack, and this is also along the lines of nobody ever knows. You can't know it all right? And like I say, I've been doing this a long time, but a lot of times I'm stuck on certain things. I like machetes, I like moras, and I don't branch out a whole lot, but I do from time to time. This is a JP Peltonen made in Finland, and I've never heard of it before. He sent this to me, and you can either put this thing on there and you can wear it on your belt, or the cool part about this is that you can take this strap off right here. Let's see, you can take that off, and if I remember how this thing goes on, I think you can put it on this way, like this. Let's see if I got this right. May have it turned around. You can put it on like this, and you can carry it. Look at this, I didn't even put it on right. Wait a minute, or did I? Yeah, I did. Nothing like bumbling around on camera. You can do it like this right here, and you can carry it like this. And there's a name for that style, and it completely slips the mind, but you can carry it like that right there. It's not scout style. Scout style's on your belt. I can't remember what you call it this way, but you can reach up, and it has a thing right here where you can, it locks itself in, and if you look inside the sheath, there's a little roller right there where this knife locks in, which is cool because I think this knife was meant for the soldiers, so that whenever they had, you know, quick pull out, there it was for action. But this thing's got some kind of a coated blade, and I can't remember what kind of coating it is on it. But I read online, I had never heard of the JP Peltonens, but I had read online about them. I looked them up, and these things have an incredible following. And so I looked at it and I thought to myself, this is not a Scandi grind. I'm a Scandi grind guy, but I'm going to take this outside and try it. And this thing, the edge on this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. That is an amazing knife right there. So thank you so much, Chris. That is awesome. And I don't know what this piece of metal is for. I have no idea. One other thing he sent me, well, he sent me a lot of stuff, but I'm just going over some of this stuff. These things right here, and like I said, I am Southern, okay? So I don't pronounce everything right. People call these things shamogs or kifaroos, I think. But this one right here is a cheap one that I had. I think it was made in China. I think. No, this was made in Pakistan. Huh. This is made in Pakistan. Well, anyway, this ain't that bad of a one. It's a pretty good one. But I have seen some that were made in China, and I won't buy them because they're absolute junk. They're not good. But this one is pretty good. But he sent me one, Herbawi. This says, you are holding a, looks like it says Kufia. Like I said, I've heard of Shamog, I've heard of Kifaru, I've heard of Kufia, and now I've heard of Herbawi. And I looked up online one time, and there's about 10 different names for these things. Over in the Middle East, I guess they have different names in different territories, and they say that the different colors mean different things. But it says, you're holding a Kufia made by Herbawi, the last and only Kufia manufacturer in Palestine. With your purchase, you're contributing to keeping our factory running, its production, and preserving a Palestine tradition and a national symbol. So, these things, they wear them over in the desert, and we're not in the desert. But us survivalists, bushcrafters, and people like that, when you have a giant piece of cloth like this, there's a million different things you can do with it. Just, I mean, it's unreal. Wrap it around your head, wrap it around your neck, splint up a broken arm, put it over your head to keep bugs away, turn it into a pre-filter for a water filter. But he sent this thing to me, and it's hard to describe the different, the way it's woven. I mean, it's a very different weave, and the feel of it is different, the quality of it's different. But there's about a million different uses for this right here, and I can't even go over all of them. But I've looked them up online, and it's amazing what they can do with these things. And I remember Cody Lundeen, he loves these, and that guy Joe Ted-Eye that was on Dual Survival, he always wore these around his neck. But Cody Lundeen one time took one of these, and he put his kit inside it and wrapped it up, and wrapped it around his waist, which was pretty cool. So, but like I say, there's a whole bunch of uses for these things. So, anyway, one more thing, and then I'll get to the rambling part. Other things here. My friend Lana from New York sent me some coffee and a machete sheath. This is a Rothko. It's I don't know, I think it's like a plastic. This will come in very handy because if you look in this, see how it's starting to fuzz up on the end? The inside of the sheath, this is a true spec. And I was keeping this inside it, and the problem with this is the sawback is constantly ripping the inside of the sheath, which is not cool. And so this is going to be great because you can put it in there like that. Now this is one of those sheaths that I had heard about, that it has a thing right here, and I'm not sure what kind of sharpener it is, but you're supposed to flip it over, and every time you pull it out of the sheath, it's supposed to automatically sharpen itself. And if you'll line it up just right, this thing doesn't line up just perfect. It may take some work. But I don't know if you're supposed to put pressure on it with your thumb, but I'm kind of nervous about that. But the way it does is you pull it out, it sharpens like that. So that's kind of neat right there. I think that's cool. And Terry H. He said I have earned the right to call him by his nickname. So I'm not going to call his nickname on camera because I don't know if he wants me to tell everybody or not. But he sent me a box, and I have his address typed out. And this box is unopened, and he said what I'm supposed to do He didn't say I'm supposed to do any kind of a survival trip. He just said that it's a mishmash of related items. He just said take the box and go out in the woods and do something bushcrafty. So this is for a future video here. I'm going to take the box out, open it up, and I'm going to do something bushcrafty with the contents. That, and I have developed a new piece of gear, and I just finished it up right before I went on shutdown. And so I'm going to do a video with that in the future. So, you know, like I say, I've got some stuff that I need to do in the future. So now let's get to the rambling part of the video. Now, I have a lot of thoughts that I'd like to share, talk about. You know, I worked, it was 21 days straight, night shift, 7 to 7, and all it does is it leaves you time to, you eat, sleep, and work, and that's pretty much it. Everything else doesn't happen. It's just not possible. So, I like to think of life as a learning experience, and whatever you do, pay attention to yourself and pay attention to just what happens to you. And the more you know about yourself, you know, the easier your life is going to be, I feel like. And because the more you know about yourself, the more you know about your sleep habits, what you should eat, when to stop eating, how much to eat, how much you should sleep, how far you should push yourself, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Now, there's a part of your brain called the hypothalamus, and the hypothalamus sets itself, and the hypothalamus regulates sleep. I think they call it circadian rhythms, I think. Heartbeat, breathing, respiratory, habits, wants. Get addicted to caffeine or nicotine, and that sets your hypothalamus. If you're ever overheated, it resets your hypothalamus. It makes it to where you get overheated really quick the rest of your life. That's worth studying right there. And speaking of studying, I am a bushcrafter camper kind of guy, but I study survival, and I study, you know, a lot about, I don't want to be in a survival situation, but I've studied about it, and I've learned about it, and I've taught myself some things. And I didn't go into night shift begrudgingly. I kind of went into it with a mindset of, I'm going to pay attention to how I feel and how it affects me and what it does. Because I've heard stories before about people that I don't live in the desert, you know, but I've heard stories of people that get, you know, into survival situations into the desert and the hot environment. And what do? They travel at night and they sleep during the day in whatever shade they can find. And so I got to thinking to myself, I thought, now I'm going to see how this night shift affects me and how long it takes me to get used to it. So the day before I went in, I stayed up real late at night cleaning the gear room and playing solitaire and sewing and doing whatever I could until I got so drowsy. It was about 3 in the morning. I finally just passed out, and I slept late the next day. So then I get up and I go into work, and that night, you know, I clock in. I was working 7 to 7, and that night was very rough. Around 4 o'clock in the morning, I got really tired. And so when I went home, I just completely passed out from exhaustion. And so I slept until like 2:30, I think, the first day, and I got up and I'm like, I don't feel too bad. You know, I had a little bit of a headache because I'm like, I'm not sleeping at night. Well, by the second day, I did pretty good. You know, the second day I woke up about 2:30, and so by the third day, it's like I reset my rhythm. And I thought it was weird that I never got sleepy at work. And I've stayed busy most of the time, which made the time pass by. It was just one job after another, and so I didn't get sleepy. And when I came home, I crashed and I slept like a log. And then after a few days of that, even on some of the days where the jobs were stretched out and I had a chance to kind of sit down, I never got sleepy, not in the middle of the night. And I thought to myself, this was fascinating, that I thought, within 2 days I can change my rhythm of how I sleep. Kind of like jet lag. My brother went and spent a week in Japan one time, and it was the same thing. Days and nights were switched for him. But I thought it was weird how quick I got used to it. But it's unnatural to what you're used to, because after about the 4th or the 5th day, yes, I stayed awake all night. Couldn't even make myself nap if I wanted to. I was wide awake. I'd come home, crash, and sleep. But after about the third or fourth day, I started waking up with a headache. And then after about a week of it, I started waking up and just felt so nauseous I couldn't eat. And so there was several times that I would wake up and sit around a few hours and then go to work without eating. And then I would not eat until midnight. And it was like the hunger part of my body had been reset along with the sleeping part of it. And I was winding up because it used to be whenever I would just like, whenever I was on second shift and they would have like a major wreck at work and I'd have to stay all night, I wouldn't be able to eat. Because, you know, you don't have an appetite in the middle of the night. But I got to the point to where as I was sleeping like a log during the day and I had reset my hypothalamus, I got to where I was eating like a pig in the middle of the night. I was eating like a hog at midnight and 3 in the morning and 4 in the morning. Go home, go to bed, wake up, and then, you know, I thought it was interesting. And it's funny, the last day of night shift when I got off, I came home and I thought, you know, it's weird, I'm not sleepy. And I thought, well, why am I not sleepy? Is it because my mind knows that I have to switch myself back over to day shift? So, I don't know. I got pretty drowsy in the middle of the day and took a small nap. But, you know, that night, I'm telling you, I crashed. I slept like a log. That was last night. And this morning, I woke up at 5 in the morning. And I feel pretty good. I felt good all morning. And, you know, later in the day, I'm going to get kind of drowsy. And I start back on day shift tomorrow. 8 hours, Monday through Friday. So, I'll be planning more videos. A lot of this stuff. And there's a few more little odds and ends I got sent. Thank you for everything. If you're the one that sent me the knife, claim it. And I hope you found some of this interesting. You know, this was all, you know, it's something else. A complete switch, 3 weeks of night shift was something for me. And it gave me a chance to think a lot about some of the stuff that I want to film and I want to do. So, anyway, I have the best friends on YouTube. There's a lot of channels that are on here for money. And they don't care about anything but money. They don't care about people. But I read the comments. I answer the comments. I talk to people. I love all my viewers on YouTube, period. I mean, that's the reason I'm here. You folks, you guys and you gals, you're great. And I thank you for everything. I thank you for the views. You know, thank you for watching. Thank you for the stuff you send me. Thank you for the comments and the suggestions and the things that you talk about in the comment section. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Lots more adventures to come, especially this summer. Until then, we shall see you in the next one.